Once upon a time, in a dense green forest, there lived a little bunny named Fluff. He was unusual. His fur stayed as white as the first snow, even in the hot summer days when all the other bunnies turned gray or brown. Fluff loved adventures, and his curiosity was stronger than any warnings. The older bunnies in the forest often told him, "Fluff, don't go far. The forest is full of dangers. Wolves, owls, and that sneaky fox Ember roams around somewhere." But Fluff would just laugh and say, "I'm fast and smart. Nothing will happen to me." One early morning, as the first rays of sunlight peeked through the thick branches, Fluff woke up with a new idea. He had heard a story from an old bunny named Longears about the big river that flowed somewhere at the edge of the forest. They said that the sweetest berries, red as the sunset, grew there, along with flowers that smelled like honey even from afar. And the water was so clear that it reflected the stars even in daylight. Fluff decided he had to see it for himself. He grabbed his little grass-woven basket, put on his favorite green scarf, and hopped off on his journey. At first, the path was easy. Fluff leaped over tree roots, greeted the birds singing in the branches, and even stopped to chat with a family of squirrels gathering nuts. "Where are you hopping, Fluff?" asked a squirrel named Nutty, munching on a forest nut. "To the big river," Fluff replied proudly. "Oh, that's far and dangerous. They've seen Ember there. She's clever and quick," Nutty warned. But Fluff just waved a paw and hopped on. A little later, he met a grumpy hedgehog named Prickles, who was rolling along the path, collecting mushrooms. "Hey, Fluff, where are you off to?" Prickles grumbled, peering at the bunny with his tiny eyes. "To the big river for berries and flowers," Fluff answered cheerfully. "It's dangerous, you silly bunny. Ember's just waiting for someone like you," Prickles muttered, curling into a prickly ball. But Fluff wasn't scared. "I'll manage," he said, and continued on his way. When the sun climbed higher, Fluff reached a wide meadow with tall grasses. Suddenly, out from behind a bush, stepped Whiskers, an old and wise badger who lived in the forest. "Fluff, are you heading to the river?" he asked, squinting his eyes. "Yes, Whiskers. I want to bring berries and flowers for everyone," the bunny replied. "That's a noble cause, but be careful. Ember rules that area, and she doesn't like uninvited guests," the badger cautioned. Fluff nodded, thanked him for the advice, and hopped onward. Finally, after many hops and a few stops to nibble on some grass, Fluff reached the big river. It was even more beautiful than he'd imagined. The water sparkled like liquid gold, and the banks were lined with bushes of bright berries and fields of fragrant flowers. Fluff joyfully began gathering them into his basket, humming a cheerful song about the forest and the sun. But then there was a rustle from the thick bushes. Fluff froze, and out stepped Ember, a fox with fiery fur and sly green eyes. "What a cute little bunny," she said, licking her lips. "What are you doing all alone in my forest?" Fluff felt his ears tremble, but he gathered his courage and replied, "I'm collecting berries and flowers to throw a party for all the animals. Want to come, Ember? It'll be fun." The fox was taken aback. She was used to everyone in the forest fearing and fleeing from her. Yet this little white bunny was inviting her to a party. And what's in it for me?" she asked, narrowing her eyes. "Friendship, delicious berries, and lots of fun," Fluff answered, looking at her with his big, honest eyes. Ember paused to think. She was tired of being alone, scaring everyone, and hiding in the bushes. "All right, Bunny, I'll come. But if this is a trick, you'll regret it," she said, though her voice no longer carried a threat. That evening, all the forest animals gathered by the big river. Fluff spread out the berries and flowers on a large flat stone. The squirrels brought nuts, the hedgehogs brought mushrooms, and Whiskers the badger even hauled in some honey from an old beehive. Ember arrived last, a bit shy, but Fluff bounced over to her and handed her the biggest flower. "This is for you, so you know you're our friend now," he said. At first, the animals eyed the fox warily, but soon everyone was laughing, dancing, and sharing treats. Ember tried being kind for the first time, and she liked it. She even sang a song about the moon and the river, while Fluff clapped along with his little paws. From then on, Fluff and Ember became the best of friends. The fox stopped scaring the animals and started helping Fluff on his adventures. Together, they explored the forest, discovered new meadows, and threw parties for everyone. And little Fluff proved that even in the densest forest, you can find friends if you have an open and kind heart. The end.